Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturcio and Chris Gucci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report, coming to you live from Chop Studios here on a Thursday. It is Thursday, April the 27th, 2023. And of course, it's Dave Sturcio. It's Chris Gucci, and it is a fantastic day to be a New York Knicks fan, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks are moving on, and they did it in convincing fashion. The entire game, we'll get into it in a little bit. Also, besides that, we had three other banger of games to go over, and of course, it's Thursday, April 27th, and I just said that, but the reason why I'm reiterating it is because it's finally here. No more mocks. No more rumors, except for today's mini mock, but no more of those after today, because tonight is the NFL draft. It all goes down tonight across the board. Round 1 tonight, I believe 2 and 3 tomorrow, and then 4, 5, 6, 7 on Saturday for the daytime stuff. But it's going to be fantastic. We can't wait. I know that the Mojo Market has been bloodthirsty for this because everybody wants to know where the stocks are going to go, where these guys are going to get drafted. That dictates a lot of their market share and how much they cost. So pay attention, take notes tonight. You also got the Rangers and the Devils, so I'll be kind of switch swapping. So that'll be interesting. So we'll see what kind of mood I come in tomorrow based on which teams, or who my team picks, and curious to know who your boys pick.
I think
now that they've moved up a little bit.
Trade back candidate now. That's what I'm reading.
Who?
The Packers. They're looking like they might trade
just
back.
Traded. Anyway, the NBA playoffs roll on, ladies and gentlemen. We just said it before, mentioned it before. The New York Knicks hand the Cavaliers an elimination at the score of 106-95. This game, I believe the closest they got was within 6. Relatively late. I watched the whole game. I have a gripe.
Okay.
I had recently cut this is a personal gripe. Okay. I've cut the cord of cable. You told me to do that a long time ago. You said YouTube TV's got it all. It does not have MSG. And the reason why I was so bent about it was because NBA TV was the one to carry this game. NBA TV is on YouTube TV. But if you went on and clicked on NBA TV last night, big old message comes up on the screen, says, your game is blacked out in this area. How about that? So now I'm scrambling. I'm asking all the friends, what do I do? What do I do? So now they're here's an illegal stream. Here's an illegal stream. And I'm like, I hate that because then it's like, I can't. It's not that I'm not like it's a moral thing. It's just annoying, right? It's like, okay, what if then the ads pop up and all this other crap. Our boy Nick Shine coming in the clutch gives me his login to the MSG app, and I watched it on my phone. So yeah, but very annoying.
That was going to be my suggestion anyway.
But it's just annoying. How do they not have a app that you can download on the TV? They don't right now. It's an MSG Go, so it has to be on your phone.
Yeah, but that's why you just need a Fire Stick.
I have a Fire Stick.
So you can download it.
I promise you I couldn't find it. We'll look for it after this.
Go on the Fire Stick?
Yes. No, they was not there. I promise you.
Because that's my
Because if that was the case, I would have did it.
A lot of these TVs, like the Rokus or whatever, they don't have all the built-in apps because they don't have deals with these companies. But if you get the Fire Stick, it's like, okay, that's your.
I was looking for it, couldn't find it. But anyway, I did watch the game. So I listened to the first quarter on the radio on the way home from this place. And then, of course, the rest of the game. Look, you can't say enough about the grittiness of this New York Knicks team. The only downfall right now is that now they win, they advance, they're playing on Sunday. Will Julius Randle be available? I'm not sure. Kind of looked ugly, re-aggravated the same ankle that he got hurt with down the stretch of the regular season. We don't know about that. Before I get into the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell, fraud? Question mark? I mean, my man did not I guess I want to say you can't do it all, but superstars in this league can put the teams on their back, and he did not do that in 5 games.
Based on what? Has he ever done that before?
I don't know. The way they touted this kid coming in.
No. It's like the reason why he was touted coming in, I mean, he had a great season. He really did. But are we talking about prior to this season, or are we talking about prior to this series?
When the trade rumors were heavy and the Knicks were in on it and we lost out on it, people were devastated.
No.
There was a lot of people that are like, why couldn't we land this guy? Why doesn't anybody want to come here?
I would say that the people that really were in the know were kind of happy that they didn't land Donovan Mitchell. I remember this vividly where it was a couple of the guys.
A couple of our guys, yeah.
Were just like, it's a good no-get. We dodged a bullet here. Brunson worked out.
They
would have gotten rid of a lot of, would quickly have been in the rotation. You know, like how.
Very true. He would have been part of the deal.
A lot of different things would have been going down. But when we're talking about Donovan Mitchell, it's like he wasn't ever anything more than what he showed this year. He's been a playoff guy, but they haven't gotten deep ever. I don't know if they've ever made it out of the first round when he was with Utah.
Yeah. Look, in any event,
there was a couple postseasons back where Shaq called him out publicly. He was like, I need to see Donovan Mitchell take the next step, blah, blah, blah. He's one of my favorite guys, but I need to see him elevate it. And he was a guy that was scoring 45, and then until it came time to the playoff time, and he wasn't. So he has the ability, but for whatever reason, is he a fraud? I don't know that he ever was considered to not be, he's not that guy in the postseason.
You can possibly, and others could possibly downplay this, but there was a lot of hype going into this that Donovan Mitchell was going to come in there and be a barnstormer and just completely dominate the Knicks for 5-6 games, and it didn't happen.
Can I explain?
The Knicks get rid of him in 5.
The underlying theme behind that was there was a couple things that led to people to believe that. One, it being like that they just missed out on him, so it's like classic Knicks. It's been how the Knicks have had this. The fan base has had this understanding that like, we have a star player come in and light us up in the Garden. It was Reggie Miller, Trae Young. You could even say Jordan. Like you name the guy, you come to the Garden, you light it up. So it was basically, it's tailor made. It was almost like this self-deprecating. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Well, this Knicks team is a little bit different.
Knicks team is gritty. I want to say that there's a million stats to go along with this game, right? Brunson does his thing. He scores 23. Then you got R.J. Barrett scoring 21, which, by the way, he's answered all the critics in the playoffs so far. That dude is balling out. He's got
an assignment now.
Oh, he's got an absolute assignment now. But, like, R.J. Barrett played well. Mitchell Robinson, 13 points, 18 boards, 3 blocks, rim protecting, altering shots underneath. The dude played great, but here's my biggest stat. Ready for this? Last night, Josh Hart played 47 minutes. 47 minutes. That is called durability, availability, and this is the gritty dude that you needed on this team to be where you are today. I know that there's always moves made in the preseason, in the draft, in free agency, but at that last moment where if you think you have a team that could strike now, you make these moves at the trade deadline. Josh Hart was one of these acquisitions, and Josh Hart absolutely has changed the face of the New York Knicks. He is, to me, as an old school Knicks fan, I feel very Charles Oakley vibes when I look at Josh Hart. Different skill set, I get it, but just gritty. He's on the court. He's diving for rebounds. He's all over the place. So credit to Josh Hart. Credit to the New York Knicks. We're on to the second round, and I'm pumped about it. First time in over a decade.
I'm glad you said the different skill set and everything, because I was just like, oh, God.
No,
you saved
they're
yourself.
not the same player.
You saved yourself.
I mean, clearly he's not the same player. I'm talking about the mentality and the
fair,
dog,
fair.
right?
Bringing that extra element.
100%. 100%.
I agree.
Let's stay in the East just for now, because I was going to go in different order of playing order, but let's stay in the East. Michael Jordan's offspring, Jimmy Butler. Do the math. Jimmy Butler once again delivers. Another 42-point performance after his 56-point performance. That's going to be a problem. Jimmy Buckets in the postseason this year has been an absolute dominant force. And now, 1 o'clock, Sunday, the Knicks and the Heat will renew their 90s rivalry. When I think about the Knicks and the Heat, we can get more into this tomorrow as we preview the weekend, but Knicks and the Heat, I think of Van Gundy being dragged around. I think Oakley fighting. I think Patrick Ewing and Zoe just going at it. It's all reignited, boys. It is all reignited. I can't wait to talk about that. But in this game in particular,
PJ Brown dumped Charlie Ward into the.
He did. And Charlie Ward was I love Charlie Ward.
Thing.
I know.
And I love PJ Brown.
I know. Well, you were a Heat guy apparently. No, Zoe's your favorite player. I get it.
Don't do me like that, bro.
Yeah, I know. When did you not stop? When did you stop liking an actual individual team after Zoe was done?
Yeah, probably when Alonzo Mourning had to leave the NBA. Because he had the kidney issue. It's just I got to a certain point in my life, age-wise, where I stopped collecting cards for a little bit because I hit that point. Yeah, now I'm full bored. But that's what it came down to. I'll say that. High school, marijuana, certain things started to take place in my life where I was just geared towards other things. And I dissipated from being a major fan. But I always liked the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. I've always liked the Hornets. Because of Alonzo Mourning, so I just followed him around.
Truth. All right, well that's fine. I
loved the Sonics back in the day.
Sean Kemp.
I'm the NBA fan.
Gary Payton.
I'll look at a team I like the Kings from that era with Webber, Bibby. Mm-hmm. Really like that team, so I have an affinity towards the Kings. I have 7 or 8 teams that I've liked.
But in any event, Jimmy Butler
doesn't give a shit about
I do. To me, it's just like fraud.
No.
Whatever.
A fraud would be me acting like I'm a big Heat fan now. That
Oh,
I'm not.
I can't wait to the first game to see my Heat.
But it's it's in jest.
I
You
understand.
know. I don't care.
But can we talk about that last
Bro,
shot?
I was just a big Bucks fan last week when I thought they were going to win.
Can we talk about that last shot for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
Like off balance, like just playoff-esque craziness. It's just crazy.
There's a couple factors here that I want to talk about before we get into the shot. Because the shot, I'm going to give Jimmy Butler his flowers. You have to hit the shot. But there was a couple things that took place that led to that shot, and it was the pass, and then prior to the pass was Coach Spo drawing it up. Because how do you get that? How does Jimmy Butler get that open, that close to the basket in that situation?
I don't know.
Right?
You're right. But yeah, the Butler shot at the end, and then the inability for the Bucks to get a shot off, and why does Grayson Allen have the ball in his hands?
I mean,
beyond
why?
me.
If they didn't have a chip 2 years ago, this coach would be fired after this series. It was an abomination.
And I have to give credit where credit is due when it comes to losing and ending your season. Giannis has become one of my highest favorite players in the league. What?
He's one of my highest favorites too. Nothing gets by here, especially after you question my fanhood.
I'll question it all day. But what I
air.
will say is Giannis was his post game was incredible. Somebody asked a very dumb question. Do you look at the season as a failure? And he went on this tangent, but not like no disrespect at all. It was great.
When he asked the question and Giannis was like,
Eric.
I thought Giannis was about to be like, great question.
No, he came back.
Like, wow, great question. And now he was like,
straight up, like
bad question.
It's the truth. I mean,
Are you
what
try
he
and do his accent?
No. I butcher everything. The only one I can do to a T is Jerry Jones, and that's it. I can't do anymore. Or Schefter, but that's it. Huh? I don't even know what you said. Don't even care what you said. Oh, and by the way, yesterday you're like, oh, I cursed, and I'm like, no, I didn't hear you. Like on the other show or 2 days, and then I finally watched it back. And I was like, oh, there it is. But anyway, Knicks Heat starts Sunday. We'll get into it tomorrow. The Lakers, they couldn't put it away, unfortunately. Ja Morant goes for 31. Bane goes for 33. A collective effort over there in Memphis to extend this series. Now they go. Look, I'm not gonna say that being down 3-1 is hard enough to come back from. But if you put a game together like they put together yesterday, you start to believe a little bit. You're like, okay, this team can run. But again, it's LeBron James. He went out his post-game press conference. Never lack of words out of LeBron James. He said he played like shit. I was shit tonight. That was it. That's what he said, and he was. LeBron James definitely did not have himself a game, but Ja Morant did. Do you have any inkling or any feeling that this series can go 7?
Yeah.
Yeah? Now you had that feeling.
I mean, I
thought the Lakers were going to put them away last night. I really did. I had a firm grasp on that.
It's not that I didn't think one way or the other about it. I just knew that Memphis wasn't going to lay down. This one, going back home to Memphis in an elimination game, it's not easy to take them out in that one. Ja Morant is a star player.
Oh, he is. Absolutely. And Bane played out of his mind, too. And that's somebody I'm not really as familiar with.
The first time I don't know if it was first time in NBA history or not, but 30, 10, and 5 each.
That could be a thing. I know they put definitely all 30. I'll go to Memphis real quick. 30, 38. Oh, it's minutes. Morant and Bane, 30, 10, 5. Yeah, both of them. Well, Morant had 7 assists, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Great collective effort, domination out of the Memphis Grizzlies. And then they closed it out with, I told you it was going to be a big swing game, and it in fact was. 3 players with 20 points or more for the Golden State Warriors. They get it done, and they will pushing this one to a game 6.
I mean, I know that there's no way you were still awake for this.
I was in my fourth dream.
I watched the end of these games live yesterday, which is absurd.
Yeah,
by the way,
considering you walk in here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I don't know how you do it, bro, but I need my sleep.
Yeah, is that what I look like right now? Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed?
At least bushy-tailed.
Yeah. But yeah, Steph Curry just put everybody in a blender down the stretch. They were like, is he dribbling out the clock, or is he about to create some floating wide open layup? And it was the second one.
It's insane what he can do.
It was like both, actually.
With or without the ball in his hands.
Dribbling around, and like defenders are just like, it's like, no, there's 25 seconds in a tight game, and people just have no idea what they're doing on the court because Steph Curry had the ball.
Incredible.
It was like, he hypnotized them at the end.
Incredible. So anyway, that is the NBA slate. Obviously, if you're an NBA fan, you're well aware that tonight going down on draft night. There is only one game on the docket. We'll get into that tomorrow, and that is Atlanta and Boston. Can Atlanta do the damn thing and even this up and send it to a Game 7? I think there's a good chance, but we'll see. I mean, again, it's in Atlanta. The momentum's on their side. We'll see how that all works out. So, in any event, to the main event for tonight, because it is the NFL, and the NFL rules everything around everybody. It is draft day, and we talked about the first 16, 15 picks yesterday. We'll kind of go into the whole thing today because it is the last chance we have to talk about the draft. Before we get to the draft, two options that were one declined, one picked up. Both don't really, I mean, one makes sense, one doesn't make sense. You tell me how you feel about it. Justin Jefferson's option was picked up. You knew that was going to happen. The long-term deal is coming. He's going to set all kinds of records when it comes to paying a wide receiver. That's going to happen. The Washington Commanders decided to decline the fifth-year option for Chase Young. Is it just health-based? Is that why? I mean, like, he is a game wrecker when he's on the field.
Yeah,
why?
It's 100% health-based, but he's not been healthy once yet in his career. And why would they pay him now before a season that he has 17 games for him to prove that he's not healthy again or prove that he is? It's not off the table for him on a long-term extendo, but I think in his position, he can't really think. You have to look at these things realistically when you're going into situations. It would be bad business. If Chase Young got his fifth-year extension, if they give him the fifth year right now, I would look at it and be like, what are they thinking? Conversely, he has to understand, I haven't really been out there much out of we'll just say
so you're
3
almost,
years of football.
It's almost as if he can't
He has not been available for at least more than half.
He can't
the
take this personally.
Yeah,
he has to know, like,
you
I
have to
haven't
put
been
the
on
chip
the field.
on your shoulder and say, hey, all right, they took their opportunity on me. I haven't lived up to anything. The defense has been better without him out there. Against the run specifically. I remember that from last year.
But he does get to the passer. When he's on the field, he's a game wrecker.
I wonder, how often does he wreck games?
I'm not saying game wrecker is maybe
he has the potential,
broad, but
he has the potential to be a game wrecker, but he has not lived up to a thing. Not yet. Right? Think about Chase Young. First thing that comes to your mind.
What?
First thing that comes to your mind. Injured.
Yeah. So it's the truth. And that's unfortunate for him. But again, do I think he's gonna grab a franchise tag? Yeah, I absolutely do. Is he gonna grab an extension somewhere? I'm here. Yeah, I do. Will he be the highest coveted free agent? Yeah, he will be.
If you polled, no, he wouldn't.
Oh, yes, he will.
If you polled 100 NFL, he would be good. Was Jadeveon Clowney the highest coveted free agent ever?
Jadeveon Clowney, the guy keeps signing 1-year deals every year.
Welcome to Chase
Young's future. Well, it could be a thing. You never know.
If you polled 100 NFL fans right now, first word that comes to your mind when you think about Chase Young, they're going to say injured, and then second word, freak, potentially.
Yeah. So ceiling way up, but like floor under the desk. You know what I mean? So we'll see about Chase Young. I was interested. It was an interesting thing to see that they didn't pick it up. It was something to at least talk about. So yesterday we also watched Aaron Rodgers get introduced as a New York Jets quarterback going forward. A whole lot of hoopla going over there in New York. A lot of people are excited.
It's the corniest interview I've ever seen in my life.
He says that now. If it was a reintroductory press conference with a brand new deal, he'd be glued. I made sure that stuff was on the TV.
Dave, when have you ever watched me tune in to like the press conference and be like, I'm putting it on?
Because you don't like football as much as I do. That's fine.
Yeah, because that's how it's dictated.
What's so corny about it? Yeah, first of all, he deflected one bad question.
He didn't even deflect. He straight up lied.
He was like, "Oh, Gutekunst never called me, and I got bad cell reception up in my mountain."
Really good yesterday. The Packers front office. It's like they told the truth throughout the process. They really, really did. At least this year, I can understand.
And Aaron Rodgers just didn't hear about it because he had no cell service.
And then he was like, "When I came out of my darkness." How about that? Ready? When I came out of my darkness. First of all, come on, bro. Put it a different way. Just say like like everybody knows.
Oh, he was full. He was full mojo. He was full.
He had Sunnin in his hair, by the way. Anybody who grew up in the '90s, you know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
He sprayed Sunnin in your hair. And he had like this orangey brown hint to it. So there's something questionable there.
He had grays in his beard. He's not trying to hide it. Trust me.
But when he's talking about, I'm not saying hiding it. I'm saying his hair color was different than I've ever seen it look. Right?
And better. And he just looked like he was glowing. He's so happy right now.
No, but realistically, right? Their Jets are going to be good. That's first off. We'll get that out of the way.
Sure.
But second, he said when he exited the darkness, he knew he wanted to go to the Jets.
He's like the groundhog.
He's making it seem like he came out and he was like, I wanted to play, and then I came out to all this news that they didn't want me. And then said, no. The reporter was like, wait. But you said, and he was like, well, that doesn't really matter now because we're here. And it's like, well, it kind of does matter to Packer fans. And I don't, not that it matters to me, but there is people that really don't know which side of this they fall on. And they're like, when it comes to PR moves and trying to get the court of public opinion on your side, that's what the media game was. That's why Rodgers was lying, and because they want to make it look like they're in the right, so they keep the fan base. I think 2 years ago and last year in the offseason, the Packers were dragging Rodgers through the media on purpose.
Best highlight of yesterday's press conference. Reporter says, "What's the best number to reach you at?" Aaron Rodgers replied, "Ask Adam Schefter."
Honestly, that was the corniest moment of the entire press conference.
Dude.
How long are we going to drag that out?
If this was a Packer thing,
you'd
be all about it. You'd be like, "That's so funny. He's such a dude."
I would be like, "Okay, bro, we get it. You and Schefter are dating." At this point, like, I'm over it.
God, such a hater.
No.
He's going to win a Super Bowl.
Do you believe that, really?
I think it's going to be a hell of a ride.
I think the Jets are going to miss the playoffs.
You're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind. That Jets team is built.
Hot take. The Packers finished with a better record than the Jets in 2023.
Circle back, ladies and gentlemen. Take this show out around January of next year. We'll figure it all out. But anyway, it is the draft day. We are definitely going to put draft day on the TV today.
Definitely an easier schedule.
Yeah, 100%. Bro, when you have to run through the AFC, it's not easy. Anyway, let's go through the final mock draft that ESPN has put out today. And if anything raises like, oop, I can't believe that's a thing, we'll talk about it. Bryce Young to the Panthers, quarterback. We talked about it. There is an oop right away because the Texans may actually pass on a quarterback tonight.
No, they're going to.
And you think they're going to. Will Anderson Jr. is obviously the best edge outside linebacker in the draft. He's going to be taken by the Texans, according to this. A projected trade. Titans make the big jump to go get C.J. Stroud in this latest mock draft. So we'll see if the Titans make a move or if they're off on Tannehill and they completely gave up on Malik Willis.
And he is
they will make a move.
He's not a test taker. He is a football player.
Yeah, so. bad answer. It is a bad answer.
It's the best answer he gave all week.
I like football. Week. Don't worry about me being stupid.
Probably the best answer he gave all week considering his test scores.
That's very true. That's a good... sometimes you get them, and you got them on that one. The Colts can sit back at 4 and take their guy, and according to this mock draft, it is Will Levis.
Hey, CJ, could you throw that 20-yard out? Yeah?
Hey, CJ, what's the square root of 938,000? Seattle gets their guy, Jalen Carter, defensive tackle. Detroit Lions, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback. We'll see about that. The Raiders going defense here. Again, you have a decent offense. What?
Cardell Jones' old tweet was resurfaced yesterday.
Cardell Jones?
You
like the Colts? The Ohio State?
Yeah.
What about him?
And he was like, we're not...
I don't even know.
Do I want to know? Going to class and like, why do we got to go to class? We didn't come to play class. We came to play football. And he was like QB1 for Ohio State at the time.
And I never saw the field. I think he played in the USFL. I don't think he got drafted. I don't think at all.
Very funny.
Chicago taking an offensive lineman to protect Mr. Justin Fields, and there go Paris Johnson Jr.
I didn't come here to play class.
10 is the Eagles. This is the one I'm going to be focused on first, obviously, because I'm a Cowboys guy. Are they going to go splash and go Bijan Robinson to change their running back situation?
Eagles are a trade back candidate, too.
All right, well, we'll see, because there are the 10th pick. The Cardinals, who moved back with Tennessee, according to this mock draft. Lucas Van Ness, defensive lineman out of Iowa. I've done some research on him. The Texans get their guy in a receiver in Zay Flowers is the first receiver off the board. In this mock draft, via the trade up for the Packers, Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, to protect Mr. Jordan Love. I, for one, think they should get a playmaker, a skill position guy, whether it be a tight end or a receiver. We'll see. They have not done that in the past for Aaron Rodgers. Will they do it for Jordan Love?
I can't see the Packers trading up to take a tight end. Like, why would they if
they didn't trade up?
Yes, they did.
They got a swap in the deal.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, but that's not like they didn't trade up to go get somebody. They just traded up and swapped first rounders.
Why do that for a guy that will 100% be there at 15?
Well, how do you know that?
Because they're not top 15 draft prospects in my estimation. And if that's the case, it's not. To my point, the point that I'm making is you're gaining some type of something in that trade. Like the Jets have to agree, and that takes a little bit more of what you might be able to get somewhere else away. The Packers, I feel like at 15 would have been fairly comfortable getting either one of those tight ends. I don't think they're going to go before that, right? At least that's what I've been reading. I have no clue.
This is interesting as we go.
Because what I've been reading more so after this trade was that the Packers are now actually a likely candidate to trade out, and that would be the only reason why trading up for that pick makes sense.
Because it's more valuable.
Because now it's more valuable if somebody else is coveting someone. The Packers,
because there could be...
If the Packers are in on a tight end, they're looking at like mid-20s on those guys. So there's a chance that they trade back and still get the tight end. That's
possible. The Patriots taking outside linebacker from Georgia, defensive end, edge rusher Nolan Smith, one of the better ones in the draft.
And what pick was that?
14, right after you guys. That's who you want, right? You want Nolan Smith. A projected trade here, the Vikings to come up to the Jets spot to take Anthony Richardson, their quarterback of the future, as Kirk Cousins kind of winds down.
Hope so.
You don't hope that.
I 100% hope so.
Okay.
That means that we'll have two quarterbacks in the division that could run really good, but cannot throw really good, and there'll be like 15 passing attempts. How long before Justin Jefferson's complaining?
I don't know. We'll see. Washington Commanders take one of the better guards in the draft in Skoronski. And I've done a lot of research on him. Definitely one of the better guys in the draft. Pittsburgh takes Deontay Banks out of Maryland, the cornerback. The first tight end's off the board here with Detroit, Michael Mayer. Don't they have... No, they traded Hawkinson. So maybe that's a thing. And
But they had two tight ends last year that I can't even name, but
they were okay. They were okay.
In the second half.
But maybe that's
why they traded from.
But again, that's like me getting excited about Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot.
But no. Like these guys actually had it was like 8 touchdowns in 6 games between the two.
Broderick Jones goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Georgia's got like 15 guys in the first round.
I think the Lions are very high on their tight ends, which is why they traded Hawkinson.
We shall see. Seattle, if this plays out the way we play it out, Seattle gets Miles Murphy out of Clemson, defensive end. So now you got Jalen Carter and Miles Murphy on your defensive front. Listen, to me, that's the name of the game, okay? That's the future of this game. If you can get to the quarterback and ruffle his feathers throughout the entire game, you screw up the entire game plan. That's what you got to do. The games are now won in the trenches once again because it's all about how much time the quarterback has and how much pressure you can get on him. So it's a very interesting debate to see where Seattle goes here. Los Angeles Chargers take Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, this is somebody that I've seen being mocked to Dallas if all of a sudden Bijan wasn't there. The Chargers taking a running back leads me to believe that Eckler is on the complete outs of this team. Is that a fair assessment?
No.
So you think they stack them?
I don't think that they're going to pick a running back.
Well, I'm just going based off this.
Based on that, if that's the case, then possibly. But we have to see. Is anybody interested in trading for Eckler? Because they're not going to cut him.
I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe it'll be a draft day trade. I don't know.
But
22. Ready for this?
Yeah, stacking.
After Odell Beckham Jr. gets signed by the Ravens, they also get Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State. Now all of a sudden, you got some serious threats at the very least. And that might actually help out a guy like Mark Andrews resurge because last year, a little bit of a down year for him. So we'll see about that. The Jets, who obviously moved back, they take Anton Harrison, tackle out of Oklahoma. The Jaguars, Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State, cornerback. Another one that I care about is the Giants, and they're taking a corner that I really, really like, and obviously he's got the lineage. They're getting, in this mock draft, Joey Porter Jr., and I've liked him. I've watched his whole combine. I've watched the pro day. I've watched everything, and of course, Joey Porter is there. He's one of my guys that I liked watching growing up, even though he's a Steeler. But then, 26, this is interesting. After Mayer's off the board to the Lions, the Dallas Cowboys select Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid. Now, Kincaid has a great vertical. The dude can make some plays. Are they going to stack and bolster this offensive weapons? Remember the Cowboys, they added Brandon Cooks via trade for a bag of balls. And then you obviously have Gallup, 1 year completely removed off the ACL. You got CeeDee Lamb on his 5th-year option.
What pick is that?
This is 26.
So the Packers trade with who's right above them?
The Giants.
Keep going.
Down?
No, a couple teams above them.
Emmanuel Forbes.
We're talking about
Jets.
the scenario that I thought
maybe
there's a chance that the Packers are
jump
in place of them.
The Buffalo Bills. Now, ready for this? I've heard things out of Pac-Man Jones. I don't know if you can call him a source, but Pac-Man Jones firmly believes that DeAndre Hopkins will be dealt to the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are the two teams that are in the hunt. But according to this mock draft, Jordan Addison is drafted out of USC to stack with Stephon Diggs. And, of course, Gabe Davis, who had a down year last year, still a good ball player. We'll see about that, but another talent for Josh Allen. Cincinnati defensive tackle, New Orleans defensive tackle, and a projected trade. The Texans move back into one. The Texans are crushing it here. The Texans go in there, trade with the Eagles, and the Texans select Hendon Hooker as the final draft, second to last draft pick in the first round. And of course, Kansas City ends it with Will McDonald the fourth out of Iowa State, who I did a bunch of research on last night because a lot of my Cowboys media people that I know are saying Will McDonald might be the pick for the Cowboys to stack across guys like Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and everybody at Sam Williams. So it's crazy. It's all going to happen. It's all going down tonight. Can't wait.
If the Texans trade up and take Hendon Hooker, right, they're going to be the one pick next year with Hendon Hooker. And then they're going to be like,
sure.
What do we do with Hendon Hooker now? Because we have Caleb Williams.
There is a report that came out yesterday that Hendon Hooker's doctor, 32 teams, he's sent the same letter. Hendon Hooker will be ready to go by the start of the regular season. What does that mean? Does that mean he gets light work in? It means you have to listen to the doctors.
No, you do not. Not prior to the draft. I don't buy that.
Look, the doctors are probably like, here's $1 million. Please tell everybody that he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. He'll be ready. And then as soon as he's on a team, he's now, I practice, my knee, I don't know,
Flare up. Right. I get it. Well, it all goes down tonight.
He's ready now.
Huh?
He's not ready.
Okay. Well, I think
Didn't he just tear his ACL?
In November.
What are we talking about here?
Well, ACL usually takes, I got back to the wrestling ring in 10 months. And that's a wrestling ring. So it's like I have to do a little something. Can't just go out there and mail it in. And that was 10 months. And I was probably ready to go the previous month before that. 9 months.
No, you weren't. You would have tore that shit immediately again.
Look at the confidence in my friend here.
No, the point being is an ACL tear.
There's also degrees to this. There's levels to this.
He's also 40.
Who?
Hendon Hooker.
Oh, my God. He's
25.
I'm well aware, and he almost won Heisman. But that'll do it. That's a show, ladies and gentlemen. What you can do right now is follow along. This is a big night for the Mojo Market. And, of course, obviously the app and, of course, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. That's the only way to follow us right now at Mojo. And, of course, Discord will be on fuego tonight because there's a lot of people talking about it. And it is the NFL draft. Is going to be here's my golden rule. I'm going to set this rule right now. And I wish it was a thing, but it's not anymore. If you are not to want to know the pick ahead of time, stay off of Twitter because there are a lot of people somehow in the know or there or live or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but the draft picks are in before they're in on the television. I think last year it got up to like 4 picks in advance, and it's very upsetting if you're a edge of your seat type guy, like can't wait, and then you go on your phone, you're like, oh, there's the pick.
Here's why I love it. Because I'm the opposite. It's like they put too much pageantry into the NFL draft a lot of these times.
Oh, you are just a killjoy.
Oh, no. It's like, here, guys, let's give the guy that we all hate more than anyone in the league, Roger Goodell, the stage for 6 hours.
It's a great moment for these guys to be drafted.
Awful.
Roger Goodell hug.
I'm waiting for somebody to walk up and be like, Goodell.
Beep! Yeah. Last year, or when Micah Parsons got drafted, he almost took him down. But anyway, that's a show. It's draft night. Get into it. Go New York. Go New York. Go Knicks.
Jesse Itzler.
Jesse Itzler, founder of the Go New York song. Go look it up. YouTube it after you watch the Mojo Market Report. Like this video. Do us a solid and do that for us. For Dave Sturchio, Chris Gucci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Good luck. Jesus.
That's him.
That's him. That is him. And that is a show. See you guys tomorrow to recap night 1 of the NFL Draft.